Zika virus spreading further here in the United States. There are now 7 additional people in Florida who contracted Zika here at home through mosquito bites. Congress went on its 7-week recess without passing a bill to fund the fight against Zika. Lawmakers returned yesterday and yet again failed to pass a bill that would have provided much needed funding to combat the debilitating virus. And now new fears that the insecticide being used to kill Zika-carrying mosquitoes might be doing more harm than good. The Lead is covering this story from all angles. We have CNN's Boris Sanchez in Miami, the continental United States Zika hot zone, and also Dr. Sanjay Gupta. But let's first begin with CNN senior political reporter Manu Raju on Capitol Hill. And Manu, is a compromise at all possible here?
It is, Jake. In fact, Senate Republican leaders are having discussions right now with Democratic leaders and the White House about possibly moving a Zika funding package, tying it to a larger bill that would keep the government open until December 9th. Now, to get there, they have to work through a number of very thorny issues that both sides disagree on, including whether or not to restrict any of that Zika funding to Planned Parenthood facilities. House Republicans insist on those Planned Parenthood restrictions, but Democrats have blocked that bill 3 times in the Senate because it has those Planned Parenthood restrictions. Now, earlier today, I had a chance to talk to House Speaker Paul Ryan and ask him specifically whether or not he would agree to move a bill that did not have those restrictions. Here's what he had to say. Why not just accept a clean bill that does not have the restrictions on Planned Parenthood?
Restrictions on Planned. Look, give me a break on this thing. We passed the $1.1 billion bill for Zika, which was the level agreed to in the Senate. We did the responsible thing. We did it before the July 4th recess. I think that they're just being wholly partisan with these endless filibusters. This is obviously an issue we're going to have to resolve this month. But just so you know, the House did its job, and the Senate has been blatantly political with Zika funding.
Now, Ryan and House Republican leaders are meeting on Friday to discuss a way forward. We'll see if they're able to get a deal, but clearly they know they have to deal with it this month, Jake.
All right, thank you so much. Boris, the situation getting worse in Florida, the number of locally transmitted Zika cases climbing, yet some people in the Miami area are now saying they want the insecticide spraying to stop. Why?
And they were actually somewhat successful, Jake, at least for one day. There was scheduled aerial spraying of that insecticide for tomorrow at about 5 a.m. It got pushed back just a few hours ago to Friday, partly because of this outrage. There was a protest outside a meeting of the Miami Beach City Commissioners today where it was just an informational session, but several hundred people showed up yelling, angry about the use of this insecticide called Naled. It's been banned in Europe, it's been banned in Puerto Rico, but it's approved by the FDA, and it's already used widely across the United States, including here in Florida. Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez tried to make the case to people, saying that this is what the CDC prescribed to fight Zika. Jake, I want you to listen to the crowd's reaction.
I can assure you that I would not allow spraying of a chemical that would have a toxic impact on residents and visitors.
Yeah.
Folks, please.
Not true.
Yeah, the other big problem here is apparently communication. The mayor of Miami Beach, Philip Levine, saying that he found out about the way that the state was going to approach the problem through press releases, not hearing directly from Governor Rick Scott himself. Clearly a lot of outrage and anger and communication problems here, Jake.
All right, Boris, thank you. Sanjay, time, of course, may be running out as the U.S. is running out of money to fight Zika, the proposed $1.1 billion. Where is that money supposed to go, and how will it assist the fight against Zika?
Well, some of it's going to go towards, let me turn this down, sorry. Some of it's going to go towards actually trying to curb the mosquitoes. You just heard Boris talking about some of those strategies. Some of that requires money. Also making sure that there is testing available. So, you know, right now, if you want to get tested, sometimes you may not have a clinic or a testing facility in your area. A big chunk of it, Jake, towards vaccines. You know, it's interesting. We talk about this a lot in the context of various infectious diseases, but the idea that a vaccine could become, is in testing right now, but may have to be halted in terms of that testing by the beginning of the year is a real possibility now because of this concern that possibly the money will run out. These things take money. I want to give you a quick just remember this, Jake, from H1N1 swine flu several years ago. Big concern. You reported on it, I reported on it, a lot of people reported on it. We don't talk about that at all anymore, H1N1. Why? Because it's actually part of the flu vaccine that people now have access to. So that just gives you an idea of just how much it can have an impact if you have the funding to produce one of those vaccines. Right now, there's a real concern that funding won't be there.
And obviously, the most vulnerable are pregnant women who then, if the babies contract the Zika virus, can have microcephaly, that horrible disfiguration. Yeah, the World Health Organization is now broadening its guideline for those who may be planning a family. Tell us about that.
What they're saying is this. There's two things to keep in mind. First of all, the vast majority of people who get a Zika infection won't have symptoms. That's good news, right? I mean, 80% of people will have either no symptoms or very mild symptoms. That's good news. The problem with that, though, is that you could be harboring the virus in your body and not know it. And what they have found is that they have found evidence of even virus particles up to 180 days after someone was exposed to the virus. Doesn't mean that that's the actual virus itself, but the virus particles were there up to 180 days. So what the WHO, the World Health Organization, is now saying, if you're planning to start a family, you've been to an area where Zika is circulating, you should wait 6 months. You should wait 6 months before actually planning a pregnancy. So it's a conservative estimate. They don't think that you could actually transmit the virus for that long. But 6 months for men and women alike now. If you've traveled to that place in Florida that we were talking about, if you travel to many countries around the world where Zika is circulating, that's now the guidance from the WHO.
And that need for contraception is, of course, why this Planned Parenthood issue has come up.
Right.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Boris Sanchez, Manu Raju, thank you all so much. Appreciate it.